when voting doesn't go so smoothly. A smooth voting experience is the norm for most voters. You may have a short wait, or maybe it takes them a few minutes to find your information in the voter rolls, but the vast majority of voters have little to no problems with the experience of voting. However, sometimes things get tricky. Every now and then, voters can experience some problems while voting. Let's take a look at some problems that might arise so you'll be confident in knowing how to resolve and report any problems you may encounter. Troubleshooting issues. Let's first talk about the resources available to you if you should encounter any problems at any time throughout the voting process. 1866 Our Vote, 866ourvote.org, Voter Protection Coalition. Load that into your phone, write it on your arm. Make sure you have it in case any problems arise. You should also be ready to pull up the Georgia Secretary of State's My Voter page or have the app loaded on your phone. You can find and download the app for free by searching in your App Store for GASOS. The site and the app get a lot of traffic on election day, so if it does not load initially, keep trying. It will load eventually. And don't forget to add the new Georgia Projects app to your phone before you leave. With this app, you can instantly report issues that arise at your polling location so that volunteer election protection experts can be deployed to the scene and or real-time data can be gathered for purposes of identifying clusters of problems to be addressed by groups dedicated to protecting voting rights. It is possible, although unlikely, to experience a problem at any stage. But don't worry, by using your My Voter page, being ready to call 1866 Our Vote, and or using the new Georgia Project app, you will be equipped to resolve, report, and or seek assistance on any issue you may confront. And most directly, if it doesn't feel right or look right, speak up. That's what poll workers are there for, to answer your questions and to ensure you are able to rightfully cast your vote. It's okay to ask questions. It's your right. If you do encounter any issue at all, make sure you ask them before you cast your ballot. Once you have cast your ballot, it cannot be changed. Question: long lines are the worst. What do you do if you arrive at your precinct and the line seems a bit long? It's always good to report issues to 1866 Our Vote. Stay in line and have your voice heard. You've prepared for this. You will be counted. To be on the safe side, let's talk about some of the more common problems, just in case. We've all heard about someone having to stand in a long line to vote. It occasionally happens, especially in the city. Sometimes a precinct might have computer problems, or they're short on poll workers, or they just weren't expecting the amount of people that turned out to vote. That last one could be considered a good problem, right? But it does mean you'll have to wait a bit. Is your phone charged? Did you bring a snack? Great time to catch up on your favorite American government podcast, right? If you do find the line is long, you should report it on the new Georgia Project app or call 1866 Our Vote. This could lead election protection experts to come out and see if the problem can be fixed. They'll also make sure that everyone in line gets a chance to vote. And they sometimes bring pizza and treats. The best course of action is to stay in line. Think of the stories you will get to tell. Maybe you will meet new friends or get a date. All sorts of magical things can happen when you are surrounded by good people like you who want to be heard in their democracy. Harassment. While waiting in line, if you feel pressured or harassed by anyone, or observe anyone else being pressured or harassed, ask an official poll watcher wearing a badge for assistance. You can also report the problem to the precinct manager. You should also report the issue on the new Georgia Project app, which could lead election protection experts to be called to the scene and or call 1866 Our Vote for advice and legal assistance. You saved democracy. They said I'm not on the rolls. How could that be? The first thing to do if a poll worker says you are not on the rolls is to show them your registration information and polling location on your My Voter page. Luckily, you came prepared. If they do not let you vote but instead try to give you a provisional ballot, you should ask to speak with the precinct manager and again show the manager your information on My Voter page. If they still refuse to let you vote, you should report the issue on the new Georgia Project app and call 1866 Our Vote. You should accept a provisional ballot only as a last resort if they refuse to let you vote, even after you sought assistance from the precinct manager and contacted the new Georgia Project and 1866 Our Vote for assistance before you submit your ballot. If you are left with no other option except submitting a provisional ballot, you need to be diligent about checking its status to make sure it's counted. You can do this by emailing or calling your county's Board of Election and Registration. If your county is unresponsive, you should call 1-866 Our Vote. The good folks on the phone will help you with your next steps. Typically, you will have 3 days to fix the problem, or as they say, cure the ballot. Machine malfunction. If the machine acts up, stop what you are doing, raise your hand, and have a poll worker come to you. If your voting machine malfunctions or if your ballot does not print, you should bring it to the attention of the precinct manager. Don't keep going. Stop what you are doing so that they can fix it or move you to another machine. Also, if you see anything potentially faulty or misleading on the screen, you should help defend others' rights by reporting that to the precinct manager, even if you feel like you personally were not misled. No matter what, you should report your incident on the new Georgia Project app, and if the precinct manager is unable to fix the problem, you should call 1-866 Our Vote. It is important to look at the printed paper ballot and make sure it accurately lists the selections you made on the machine. If you find a discrepancy, point it out to the precinct manager and insist on getting a new ballot. Whether the precinct manager fixes the issue or not, you should report the incident on the new Georgia Project app. And you should call 1-866 Our Vote if the manager does not resolve the problem. Final step, check the results. Finally, it's time to check the results of the election. Often, official election results are announced on election night, but results can take longer to tabulate, especially when more and more voters make use of absentee ballots. The Georgia Secretary of State's Election Division provides a complete list of current and historical election results information. You can find the list by doing a web search for Georgia Election Results SOS or by just going to this URL. Then sit back and watch the results roll in knowing you were a part of democracy.